Hi guys, so this is my analysis on DXY. If you watched my previous analysis on DXY, I said I'm expecting DXY to push to the downside, and my reason was because we were below this trend line right here, and I said that we're below this trend line, and we can see, if I zoom in a little bit, we were rejecting off of this zone, and this zone, if you look left, we can see that whenever we get to the zone, there is always a rejection. So that gave us a confluence that is a possibility that we might continue to push to the downside, and that was the reason why I said we might continue to push to the downside. But I said before we enter a trade, I would prefer it to at least break this counter trend line right here. When it come down to break it, come up to retest it, then that will solidify that we have moved from the uptrend to a downtrend. More confirmation. We write it down, and my target will be, first target will be 99.5, and my second target will be 98.45.9, sorry. And in case if we have a lot of momentum, we can target it down to 96.93, around that area. So those were my targets for the sell move. But like we all know, we predict the market, we react to the market, we don't predict the market, because the market does whatever it wants to do, and no strategy is an holy grail, right? So we can see that this did not work out the way we wanted it to work out, because it's continued to push to the upside. There's still a possibility that we might push to the downside, it just depends. But right now, I'm going to delete my previous analysis and reanalyze based on the current price action. So I'm going to delete those. Then I'll go to a bigger time frame just to see the overall trend that I'm looking at right now. Okay, based on what I'm seeing right now, the overall trend is still bearish, right? I still want it to at least come down to this trend line right here before we now know what we are doing. But that is my overall thought on let me readjust this trend line as well. Overall thought on DXY based on the market. So I'm gonna do something. Let's do something like this and see. Yeah. Okay. Go to a smaller time frame and let's see. So I'm still expecting it to at least come to 96. I'm still expecting it to push down to that. But when are we going to put down? No one can determine that, right? But I still think we're going to continue to push to the downside. So let's readjust this trend line right here. So let's see how that will work. So I have two scenarios right now based on this. This is a bigger time frame, a daily time frame. One scenario is we can see it's giving like an impulse, a correction of sort of like a descending correction. So there's a possibility for us to come down to this level right here, then push up to at least my 50% or 61% fib level, around that area, to push up there, right? So that's a possibility. But I think we're gonna, okay, so right now we are in a sensitive area right now, because we can see that whenever we get to this we reject, we get to the we reject, and we are currently around that level. So there's a possibility that we might be rejecting off of that level to now continue to push to the downside. That's a possibility. I'm saying we just have to be more patient to see where we are going for, but I still think we are continuing to push to the downside. We are in a zone right now that is a little bit sensitive, and we need more information to know what we are doing, because like I said previously, whenever we are around this trend line, there's a possibility for it to continue to push to the downside. So like I said, we can see it's giving us an impulse correction, an impulse. I'm expecting this is a huge correction, at least come to the downside. And my target as of right now will be around this area right here if you're pushing to the downside, but we have to take it one step at a time. So right now I think you're gonna continue to sell, like I said, but before we take a sell, I'll be more patient for us to move from a buy direction to a sell direction, and that will indicate us breaking this trend line right here, coming to retest, then giving us a lower high for us to continue at least to this target right here. So on the XY, I think we're gonna push to the downside. We just have to be patient to see what we are working on, but I'm more biased on sell rather than buy. So I'm just gonna put what I think my thought is. So I see something like this. I want something breaking down, giving us a break of structure, coming down and continue to retest, so at least around this area. So that is my quick thought on the XY, guys. Hope you find this insightful. If you do, don't forget to share, subscribe, comment and like, and I'll definitely see you in my next analysis. Thank you for watching, guys.